know now we're getting older. The world we built is slipping through our fingers. We're running out of time. But you are the one I've chosen, and I won't lay still, living left behind, imprisoned by this love. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel somewhere you're looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
The moment you've been waiting for. House Party 5v5 Minor League Season 2 Week 1. We just finished the Swiss tournament, and these are going to be the top 10 teams competing. These guys were the top out of 50 contestants, so we're in for an interesting week. I'm Thunderdome.
I am Wind Up Zenmofo. On the red side, we got Datris 23, Drake Alted Meek, Lundredy, Tenenvolt, and Double with Deft.
And on the blue squad for Never Clucky, we've got Hayam Narb, Confidence, Izumi Sinichi, sorry if I butchered that a little bit, and 80 and Talisman, and Tachin Goku.
Alright, sounds like a great lineup over here. And we have, let's see, first bands coming out here, pretty interesting. A few of them seem to be targeted, not too much OPs coming out besides the Fiora band and the recently discovered OP Vigar band, but the Tam Kench, Callista, and Thresh seem to be targets, or just general bands to get some problems out of the way, just some generic solid picks, Thresh being one of them, and Gnar being another one.
And the instant Gangplank lock for the top laner of Never Clucky. Such a powerful pick after he received the recent updates. His late game scaling with the crit build, those barrels just blow through entire teams.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Gangplank lock-in is extremely important for the blue side. That means they're probably going to be like, oh, might not even be top lane, that might actually be a mid lane Gangplank with the Darius hover. But we do see a nice response from the red side. They pick up very powerful picks in the Lulu and the Elise. Lulu, very good counter to a lot of the Juggernauts, and works well with the Juggernauts if they're not picked up from the blue side. Elise offering a lot of early pressure and jungle security is just a really solid pickup from the purple side. Solid bot lane as well coming out from the blue side. Jinx and Morgana. Morgana's been rising a lot in popularity as a support, and she does her job very well of being able to create picks for the team and support a bot lane and make sure that the hypercarry doesn't get CC'd to hell by all the Juggernauts and cocoons and whatnot being thrown at her.
Yeah, and we're looking at the likes of Protect the Carry comp, possibly on both sides. Morgana's great for giving the Black Shield to your AD carry or priority targets so they don't get locked down with the CC. On the red side, Dynamic Strangers have set up Lulu and Janna to protect Tristana, who they have revealed now, and her mid-game ability to take turrets and siege with the explosive shot is extremely powerful, as well as her late-game scaling. Once she gets those items, that extra attack speed and range is just devastating to teams when you've got the likes of Lulu and Janna to protect her from any threats the Never Clucky might pose to her.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Tristana, the mid-game power spike, she's definitely one of the strongest AD carries on this patch, and she's been rising in popularity consistently since the rework, and she's actually can match the hyper carry potential of a Jinx in the late game, and with the protection of a Janna and a Lulu, she should be able to pretty much go off and carry in the late game if it gets to that point. And with an early game jungler like Elise, she can get the lane rolling with an effective dive. She pushes the lane so well, so I'll be looking for the bot lane for Elise to kind of control that. The Rek'Sai and TF lock-in, really interesting in the mid lane. TF also rising in popularity on this patch.
TF is great for snowballing your side lanes. If they want to get Jinx ahead, get her to that hyper carry status for the late game, or Jinx is also really good for sieging turrets as well. Not quite to the extent of Tristana. However, if Jinx does get that snowball rolling, she will be able to take over this game, getting excited with the resets and fight, just dropping crit rockets all over the backlines. Also, having Rek'Sai, another early game jungler, both teams very stylistic similarities coming out from their compositions. So we're going to see who's going to be able to take over the early game in the jungle first to get their lane snowballing.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the Olaf locked in from the purple side. Well, if you have a protect the carry composition, you got that Morgana and the Rek'Sai knockups and the TF stun. Well, when Olaf doesn't care about that when he ults, so he can just dive straight onto that Jinx in the back line, doesn't really have to worry about a binding, maybe even soaks up the binding so that Morgana can't snare another priority target. Then you just get onto that Jinx in mid-game fights, and he'll just be extremely powerful if he also gets his lane rolling. So it will be a Gangplank top, and we'll see. Gangplank usually does better into the melee just because he can set up barrels more effectively, but he still has pretty weak early game comparatively, so we'll see how that matchup goes. But like you said, I'm looking for early jungle pressure here with the Rek'Sai and Elise lock-ins, and bot lane's going to be a point of contention here. They really want to get bot lane rolling so they can have their hyper carry to protect and actually deal tons of damage in team fights.
And the Olaf pick is a little bit interesting for Dynamic Strangers. They opt into an unfavorable matchup in the top lane with the sole purpose of using Olaf to dive onto Jinx to completely distract her in fights while they let Tristana blow through the front line of Never Clucky. Having Olaf, he can get around the Flame Chompers, he can get around the Gold Card, and the knockup from Rek'Sai. As you were saying earlier, Wind Up, he's going to be hell for the other team. The Black Shield from Morgana will come in clutch in these scenarios where Jinx is going to be able to avoid the slows from his undertow when he throws those axes at her, but Talisman is going to have a lot of trouble on his hands if this Olaf does get snowballing.
Absolutely, and magic damage coming out from Elise and Lulu might be enough to break through the Black Shield, so eventually some CC will be able to get down onto the Jinx if they do it fast enough. The polymorph can be absolutely devastating as well if Rek'Sai tries to come in on the front line. So we're looking at Lulu to skillfully use her, abilities in that way to counter-engage and stop the engage from a Rek'Sai coming in. But Twisted, a lot of global pressure coming out from the blue side. We have the TF ult and the Gangplank ult and the Rek'Sai ult, plus the Jinx snipes can come out. That's a lot of stuff you got to worry about all over the map, and bot lane will just be, it's going to be living hell for Tristana in the bot lane if a TF ult comes down and then a Gangplank ult cuts off their escape. I'm looking at as an early level 6, or at least attempt to get an early level 6 for the mid and top lane and make bot lane a living hell for them.
Yeah, that's what's great about having this double teleport. It's become very recently popular in the meta. Having two laners that can come and jump down bottom lane and influence these fights, or they can split push, get to objectives easier in the mid and late game. There's just so much more map pressure coming out of the game. Even though the mid laners lack that kill pressure or the extra defensive summoner in lane, it more than makes up for it when they're able to make these cross map plays. On the flip of a dime, all of a sudden, oh man, our bottom lane's in trouble. You just pop the two teleports and instantly you guys turn the fight over, and it works out so great for the teams. Not to mention Destiny Gate on Twisted Fate gives him essentially 3 teleports for their team, and like you mentioned, Jinx having the global ultimate, Gangplank has a global ultimate. Never Clucky has got a lot more tools in their kits to make these plays happen around the map. But if Dynamic Stranger can protect Tristana, then it's going to be a very hard-fought match for both these teams. And we'll be finding that out soon when we load onto the Rift. A glorious day to be here on Summoner's Rift. We've got House Party 5v5's Week 1 of the Minor League Tournament. Never Clucky on the blue side, Dynamic Strangers on the red team, and I'm Thunderdome.
I am Wind Up Zenmofo. We're going to get right into this game. They're just headed over to their jungles respectively. Not too much action coming up just yet. We're really early into the game, but see what they do. We got all 5 people from Rangers on the bot side. We'll see if they're setting up a cheeky little trap, potentially stopping a invade, but they got no wards, and 4-man invade coming out from the top side.
Yeah, getting those deep wards, getting the deep wards in, Never Clucky's gonna be able to see if they're opting for a lane swap. Putting Olaf against the double bottom lane would be really inopportune, so having these deep wards is mainly just to see if they're trying to set Gangplank back. If Dynamic Strangers does not look like they're opting for this lane swap whatsoever, and leaving confidence on Rek'Sai on their red side jungle is able to see that they weren't sending any deep wards in, so they're probably setting up for standard lanes here. But having the double jungle with Olaf is going to let him get level 2 early. He gets to help Elise with her clear, and he also avoids that awkward level 1 where Gangplank will have the range poke advantage over him.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want Olaf in the duo lane simply because he doesn't just have enough mana to just throw out the axes and go the lane and make sure you can actually get CS. So it will be good for him to get this duo jungle started, get the teleport up in the top lane, make sure he has an even matchup with the Gangplank, who's probably also going to try to camp or double jungle with the Rek'Sai, which is what it seems to be. But both bot lanes starting off with the bot side camps respectively, Krugs and Gromp, and they'll be both come in the lane with a bit of extra XP, and Tristana will probably be looking to push that wave with her E ability, just dubs the wave inherently, and she should be able to get pretty good control over a Jinx lane who's not super strong early, and Janna can really power her up with that shield, so for Tristana to push in the wave, and then hopefully we'll see maybe some early dives from the Elise. who's really good at juggling the aggro, and we get some early kills to snowball that lane.
Oh, when the Dark Binding hits on 10 and Volt, he gets Flame Chomper. That's a weird take at level 2, so Talisman is taking a lot of harass from the explosive shot. Dynamic Stranger's actually coming up in the HP section of that trade. Never Clucky aggressiveness gets punished early on.
Yeah, Morgana actually didn't hit level 2 there, so she probably couldn't follow up with her pool underneath the binding, and the chain CC didn't actually hit from the command, so unfortunate there that they weren't able to get more harass. That could have been a one trade, but the Hoppers did not finish up the one. Tristana hits level 2, she'll be able to push the wave, or at least try to push the wave back to Tristana with that pool, so will basically be a battle of who can push the wave and who wants to push the wave, because either way, Elise would be able to make an impact either with a dive or with an early gank. But level 3 on the Jinx. Jinx has a weird XP advantage over here. Maybe it's because she got solo XP on the Krugs?
Absolutely what
really
happened.
Paying attention to that, yeah.
Got the solo XP from the Krugs, and we've got Elise and Rek'Sai both going around the top lane. However, Confidence is going to get to Scuttle Crab first, whereas Drake ulted Meek is going for the mid lane here. Twisted Fate's card is down. You might expect to see her come in here. She's got the double buffs ready. Twisted Fate is rather immobile too. He might be walking too close to this bush. Cocoon misses, unfortunately, and he's able just to walk it off. Nothing big happened. But here comes Confidence. He's trading with the Spiderlings. He's dropping down the Sand Shark's damage. Oh, here comes a flash red card for the slow. The side card just barely missing from Twisted Fate, and he's slowed down by a nice Glitter Lance from Lundredy, and the gank turnaround is actually negated.
Yeah, nice Glitter Lance at the end there from the Lulu to get the double slow. Wasn't able to chase. Flash burn from Elise, however, that's going to be pretty important if she wants to maybe make some more effective ganks, be able to chase people down if she doesn't have the repel up. But interesting, she had the double bust, wasn't really counter attacking the Rex, and Lulu was kind of zoned off by the TF there, so it wasn't really a fair 2v2 or 2v1 even. So unfortunate for Elise now that she has to back. She's pretty low and burn the Summoner spell. And she gets no vision control from either Scuttle Crab, considering that, which is a pretty hefty loss in the early game. Scuttle Crabs are pretty important for just setting up those early ganks and making sure that you know who exactly is coming through the river and where people are roaming. And those are going to be even more important when TF hits 6 and Rek'Sai starts trying to focus on this bottom lane, which he's just around there right now. He's probably just going to try and hit level 4 and just get some farm up now that he's forced Elise to burn the flash and gotten a slight lead in the jungle, or going to try and come back for a lead in the jungle. Elise still has a little more CS, but not too much.
One thing that's nice, even though Drake ulted Meek had to burn his flash on Elise, he did get the return flash on the mid laner, so Twisted Fate without flash is more easily punishable by a return gank. So they've got that going for him on Dynamic Strangers, but I do want to talk about how Never Clucky is playing the bottom lane. Well, it looks like they're going in for a trade, but both sides going to whack off. So, they keep pushing the minion wave into the tower. So Tristana's having a little bit of a CS differential, and he's down by 10 as of right now because they keep forcing the minion wave under the turret. They're also not allowing Tristana to get free damage on their bottom turret. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Never Clucky's bottom lane definitely has an early advantage here, and that's what you want to see out of Jinx.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's I think that's definitely a tribute to the Morgana, just being able to shove the wave against the Tristana as well with her pool, so the AoE damage comes down, and then the Jinx using mana.
Oh, Draco to meet
Rockets.
Ram, Cocoon onto Confidence. Sorry to cut you off there, but there's a massive fight going on top lane. Rek'Sai, however, able to tunnel over the wall and get out safely, but at the cost of a lot of HP.
No chance.
Yeah, nice catch there by both junglers trying to get up to the top side. Did not notice that I was working usually on the bot side with the lane push, but
Cocoon lands in the mid lane.
Nice catch there from
Up.
the Elise,
Drake
and
is
he's trying to
hitting
get
him with
mid.
the spiders. However, both mid laners seem to be pretty low in mana. Lundredy taking an extra red card on the return, a few wild card hits as well, and he's super low and has to back off. So Twisted Fate keeps winning in this lane even after repetitive gank after repetitive gank.
Yeah, and just the part that Lulu couldn't really follow up as effectively, was pretty low on mana and a bit low on health. and Elise was able to, just dive in a little faster and more effectively than the Lulu. So not really.
Oh, here comes the
not
gang
there.
top lane. Confidence getting the knock up onto Daedrus. Instantly, he has to pop Ragnarok to get out of that crowd control. However, that's an ult burned, and Narb now has a more advantage in the lane. He's down in CS, so this should relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. That is extremely important cooldown right now. That just really helps the 1v1 out for Olaf. Daedrus. He's able to remove slows from his potential gangplank ultimate and barrels. So that's and of course, if he was to teleport down, wouldn't have that for quite a while. So nice gank to burn the ultimate immediately, and hopefully we'll see if they can take advantage of that, capitalize on that, teleport bot lane, make a play. Now that the solo lanes are level 6, and Jinx is nearing it, she will probably get it off of this wave. So we're looking for some more plays in bot lane,
and we have the dragon secured. We've got the dragon secured for Dynamic Strangers. The jungler of Never Clucky reveals top lanes. They instantly take the cross-map objective, even though they did have to use an ultimate. An ultimate traded for dragon is a pretty solid exchange, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. In the early game, the dragons are pretty good just to secure for like security in the late game. You don't want to give up the early dragons because it makes it a lot easier to get the 5 dragons. They can't really use the stats right now, and they're going to have a hard time defending this tower right here with the Jinx being able to take towers.
Oh, and the binding lands are defended. He's got the flame choppers locked him down, but Double Lift Deft is zoning him off phenomenally, and they avoid the trade, and the turret still stands with about 500 HP left on it.
That was a great defense by the Jhin. Immediately drops the exhaust onto Jinx. Can't out-trade him. They were too close to the tower to actually be able to advance forward. They save the tower and a lot of damage. They get a lot of damage down.
Another binding lance. Tracing, who is so accurate with these. Flame Chompers used to zone off the enemy AD carry. A beautiful Black Shield stops the Cocoon at the last second. Super Mega Death Rocket hits. No, the repel dodges it. Jinx wants to get excited. She needs 1 or 2 more auto attacks. Destiny's here. Gold card's down. First Blood going over to Talisman. There could be more. The blue card lands 1 more rocket. No, she flashes away just in time. Dynamic Strangers walking off by the skin of their teeth. They are limping and licking their wounds and having to give up this first tier tower. That's going to be secured for Never Clucky.
That's a huge win for the bottom lane. Jinx gets the tower. She'll be able to split them very effectively now. And the first blood onto her. She's going to have a massive gold swing coming in. And just look at the CS differential here. Tristana's going to have an insanely hard time making that up with her tower now down. I mean, Jinx, that was incredibly vital for the Never Clucky's strategy right here, because they just got their Jinx fed immediately with that huge CS lead. She picks up the pickaxe and the boots on the way back. She'll be able to basically just split push, do whatever she wants, be able to focus down mid now. Wonderful ultimate coming out from Izumi. Just makes that completely outnumbers them 4v3 or 3v3, then 3v2. Once they get the kill, they're able to zerg down the tower, and they burned a lot for that. At least burned Flash right there again almost as soon as it came back up. And just wonderfully played by Never Clucky.
We'll see if they're going to use Jinx and Morgana's power to help take top lane. Maybe they could look for a little swamperoo here. However, Gangplank is more than happy with farming passively in the top lane, just stacking up, getting that crit item build, and he's able to clear these waves so effectively that Daedrus will never ever be able to get damage on this tower unless Narb is not in lane. Oh, Izuna Sinchi, the victim of the glitter lance and a nice Zephyr, however, he's able to walk out of it and knock up from Confidence. 2-man, here comes the teleport telling, Dark Binding hits, the rocket hits, Confidence secures that kill in the mid lane.
And that's the global pressure you're talking about. They have the TF ultimate down, but the Jinx ult came back up, and that was extremely incredibly played. Wonderful accuracy coming out there, plus the binding, so get the kill on the Confidence. Wonderful pick there, and even though that was warded by Strangers, even though the bush was warded, they still pulled that off, even though they got the jump on the Twisted Fate, so you play by them, and a wonderful pickup, and that's going to extend their gold lead even more. Jinx is still farming in the bottom lane. Gangplank is staying even with the Olaf, and TF is just exercising an incredible CS lead over Lulu. So bot and mid both are just miles ahead of their opposition, with fairly significant gold leads all around. 1,100 Jinx over Trist, and then 1,400 for TF over Lulu. So just that's going to be the point of this mid game here. Just continuing the snowball of the bottom lane.
Oh, Talisman looks like he's getting caught out. The explosive shot is down. He's using the flame choppers to zone him off. However, the Howling Gale does miss, but TF is here. They secure the kill. Another teleport is being channeled from the enemy team, but it looks like it got canceled. And that's going to be 2 kills going over. They thought they had that situation in their hands, but it was instantly turned. Never Clucky coming up huge right now. 4-0 with a 5,000 gold lead just under 13 minutes into this game.
My goodness, and that's the effective use of the snowball. Jinx looked totally caught out there, but again, this is case number 2 for global pressure being extremely effective. Twisted Fate just comes down there, turns that right around, and even the Gangplank ultimate almost unnecessary.
Oh, and Datris
really
takes a huge shot from the tower, plus a barrel proc, and Narb says, man, if you're gonna hang out under my turret, you're gonna pay for it. He's a pirate, he's gotta get his toll.
Yeah, fortunately with the inherent life steal of Olaf, he should be able to at least heal up a little bit, or push the wave with his axes and just back off for a little bit, potentially finishing up cooldown reduction on his way back. He does have significant CS, so even though he's just down just a little bit, he's basically even in that lane. But the Gangplank 2 assists are going to start showing up later, and Gangplank, when he gets to that Triforce, he just starts getting really, really strong, and then in the mid game, when he can start transferring, once he gets impacts some team fights, gets to that IE, he's going to be extremely scary.
The binding lands on Luntredy, chained him with a gold card. However, Lulu does have picks to help her out, but it might not be enough, especially with Soul Shackles proccing. The red card's down, Wild Growth is out, Ultimate coming in with the Spider Form, but she is instantly exhausted. However, this could be the cleanup right here. Azuma looking for kill. The rocket hits Luntredy, but it's not enough damage yet. Azuma secures one more, but here comes Datris after channeling the teleport. He throws the Undertow out, it's not enough. Double of Death getting caught up. Azuma Chichi gets killed. That's the reset for Tristana. Let's see if she can take some more. Talisman is exhausted. Double spill going over to Datris. Undertow hits again. Here comes Tristana on the thing. Oh my god, the third underkill. That's a triple kill for Datris. He has blown this game wide open.
Oh my god, and he's still chasing, and he's probably not going to get that kill.
I don't know, he's going for it. True damage is down. However, confidence jukes him around. He takes a turret shot, that's the knockup. However, the Sand Shark is going extremely low. Undertow hits. One more attack from Datris. That's the kill. Unofficial quadra kill. Going over to Datris. Dynamic Exchangers, they're back in this game, even though there's a down 4K. Olaf is huge right now.
Absolutely, and they're actually going to be able to get the dragon off of this. That turnaround was insane. I thought it was completely over for the Demon Traders. They were outnumbered in the beginning. Olaf was zoned off from the team, and then suddenly he gets a double kill and then a triple kill out of nowhere. Just the turnaround for that. They outnumbered towards the end. Lulu came back in even though she was such low health. Just the initial catch was really great. Twisted Fate exercising his lead, but then he just gets totally caught out. Tristana gets the resets. Olaf just laying down tons of damage. He gets that Black Cleaver picked up. That's going to be insane, and they swing the gold lead. It's still pretty big, but that's incredibly important now that they have 2 dragons under their belt. Binding misses, but they have 2 dragons under the belt, and that's going to be really important in the mid game when they can get that third move speed dragon, and then potentially in the late game if they when they stick it out and survive long enough, they can get that 5th dragon as a threat in the later game. So that was incredibly important for Strangers to stay in this game that was almost looking like it was going to just go completely out of control with this Jinx and TF lead. But Olaf is going to be huge for quite a while now with that unofficial quadra. 4-0 on him with a significant CS, almost even with Gangplank. That's going to be ridiculous.
That just shows you how strong the Lulu pick is. Luntredy gets caught out, but he's able to stall them for about 8 to 10 seconds just using the help of picks and Wild Growth. He bought enough time for his team to show up, and they were able to turn that fight completely on its head. Now Narb is in trouble in this top lane, going up against a 4-0 Olaf.
Yeah, and even though his tower is down, Olaf can play pretty safe. He's going to have his ultimate up with 2 ranks, and now he's level 11, so he doesn't really have too much to worry about right now. Honestly, he can just try and exercise a little more control over it, get some CS, and try and bully out this Gangplank, or at least keep him occupied in the top lane, and make sure he can get some good damage down and attempt to get this tower, or at least shove the wave in where he can try to get it. Or at least
I gotta interrupt you there, but he was getting caught
man.
out by the... Oh, wow. Okay, they just disengaged that fight completely with Buster Shot, but the siege is still on in the mid lane.
I didn't actually catch what happened there. I was too focused on the top lane, but Olaf does come down, and they are going to start focusing on this mid lane more now that everyone's got some decent items. TF with his Morello, Gangplank with his Triforce, if they can set up a siege with all 5 of them, or 4 if they put the TF as a split pusher, but the teleport coming in from TF, he's not going to be the split push threat in that case. They're just going to try and defend mid.
Alright, Siege is still on. Using the wave clear of Izumo on Twisted Fate is pretty powerful, but they do have to match a Tristana with Olaf throwing the Undertow through it. They're just going to slowly have to chip away this turret, but they're really looking just to distract him because Talisman is in the bottom lane, getting a solo push started there. However, he's going to base right now. He's got a little bit of gold in his pocket that he'd like to spend. 1,500 should get him the Zeal and a couple potions, maybe a pink ward.
Yeah, and that's actually incredibly important. The Jinx is just getting free farm. They're defending the mid lane with only 4 people while Stranger's just devoting 5, and Jinx just has a massive CS lead over Tristana. I mean, 148 to 92. She's up almost 2,000 gold over Tristana, and the item spikes are just coming through for Jinx so much faster. So if they were to actually turn this into a 5v5 team fight, and they protected the Jinx effectively just with the Morgana Black Shield, that would be just insane. Jinx would just blow open the fight, and they probably would be able to at least get a tower out of it, or possibly the Baron, which is coming up pretty soon. And Jinx, with that damage, she'll be able to take it down. But
even through Eye of the Storm, they're unable to get the turret protected enough. The rocket is used just to zone them off. It's not enough damage, but Never Clucky's going to continue the siege in the mid lane with confidence, poking with the Prey Seekers from a distance. They're looking pretty low on the side of Dynamic Strangers with a big wave pushing in top. Let's see if Never Clucky rotates up there or they continue the pressure mid lane to deny some more experience in CS. Looking like Daetrus is splitting off for it. That's a big opening. Never Clucky here. They see him show top lane. They're able to instantly go for this. And the barrel poke is massive. The wild card's almost taking down double lift depth. That is some accuracy right now. And Izumo showing the mastery of the champion. Sorry, Izumi.
Yeah, absolutely. My goodness. And then, you know, we didn't talk about this in Champ Select, but it's coming more to fruition now. The siege potential of Never Clucky is just ridiculous as of right now, and just based on their comp with the Gangplank barrel setup, the Jinx Cork coming out, and the bindings getting thrown at you, plus Twisted Fate's wave clears, just on another level.
Double Lift gets caught by the binding. He is instantly going to get eradicated off the face of the rift. I am Nard picking up the kill credit for that one. That was a pretty nasty bush bait, something you do not want to fall victim to. Never Clucky, oh my gosh, landing another binding after binding. Gators are going into Ragnarok now, but he's getting focused by the enemy team, and he has to run out of there instantaneously. Elise is up in the air, but she has nowhere to repel to. Binding goes out a second too early. However, he still takes so much damage. That's going to be Dynamic Strangers backing off from another turret yet again. Never Clucky going to secure their second tier 2 here in a few seconds, I believe, when this minion wave crashes right into the turret.
Absolutely, and you know, the effectiveness of Jinx damage on the towers, plus all of its just skill shots and poke and CC coming out from Never Clucky, that's just, it's almost impossible to defend. Even with the Janna shield, you just can't defend against the Jinx damage, plus all the TF and the Morg bindings and just everything coming out, even the Prey Seekers coming out doing a little bit of damage. They're just going to be able to take this dragon most likely as well, get some vision control around it, and then probably move on to vision control around Baron and look to take that top side tower, or set up the Jinx split push in the bot lane, maybe get some pressure on the bottom inhibitor while they're some pressure on the top around Baron. So they're going to get to pick up this dragon super easy. That's their first dragon in the game, which actually becomes pretty relevant at this point in the game. Those extra stats become much more important as the game goes on in the mid game. So they're able to get those stats and even up the red side.
And as of right now, we got a 9,000 gold lead for Never Clucky. They're up 5 turrets to the 0 of Dynamic Strangers. Dynamic Strangers had the dragon lead, but Never Clucky's going to slowly close that gap and take the lead in that scenario because they have so much more map pressure due to all the turrets left on the map. The waves are almost always going to be on Dynamic Stranger's side of the map, which means they will have to have at least one champion or 2 go deal with these waves, and that gives so much information to Never Clucky and so much room to get the deep wards in, and they're going to be able to start posing for the Baron.
Absolutely, and if you look at bottom side, they just have so many wards littering that area. They're probably going to have to switch that over to the Baron side, but it just goes to show they just have so much control over that area. And even though Strangers have the Tristana, there is almost no damage on that bottom tower, just way more effective rotations and objective control coming out from Never Clucky. They gave up the early dragons. They honestly probably didn't really care that much because the early dragons don't mean everything, and with this comp, they are just so strong in the siege scenario, and once they siege down a tower and poke away Strangers from their own towers, they're going to be able to pick up objectives easier, and they don't really have to worry about that so early in the game. So now they've had a lot of power spikes. Jinx got her 2 out of power spike with the IE and the Phantom Dancer. Twisted Fate's got his Zonias. We got the Triforce still on Gangplank, plus the Brutalizer, plus the Ionian Boots. So he's going to be really strong with a ton of farm now, even exercising a little bit of a CS lead over the Olaf. And now just, I mean, they should be able to take this lead and just roll with it. They should be able to get whatever towers they want if they set it up properly. And as long as they don't get picked off by maybe an Elise Cocoon and some good catches in the jungle, which doesn't seem likely because they have so much vision around this Baron area, just absolutely ridiculous, littering the area with wards. They know exactly who's coming through and who's trying to do what.
Looks like they're setting up a bush bait. They just swept the area. Confidence knows the only ward they have is in the Baron pit. However, Drake wants to make sure they're not starting this up with that pink ward in the top side of the red buff bush. It's gonna reveal they've got vision on the side of Never Clucky, so Dynamic Strangers does not want to go anywhere near this Baron. The siege will continue mid lane. Never Clucky using their item advantages and their compositional advantages as well.
Yeah, and just look at that Gangplank wave clear, able to pressure up mid, throw the barrels down. They're going to work to rotate to the top side, push this wave out, get some control around there, maybe clear this pink ward over in there, but just control this top side wave, and they threaten with either a tower, or they'll be able to
Datrus is going in, he's got the Whimsy to speed him up, and he gets caught by the Dark Binding. He's instantly going to use Ragnarok. Confidence is getting focused down so mad he does not have enough resistances yet, and Never Clucky is split off their focus. However, Datrus is now going to be the one turned on. He gets blown away by Talisman. That's going to be 3 kills coming out for him. 2 kills, excuse me. No, it gets picked up again by Narv. A double kill going over to Shinichi. However, that's an ace
nice
for Never Clucky. That's going to translate into an inhibitor. Massive wave coming in topside. They might be able to go for that tier 2 outer court, but they might just have to back off here after the inhibitor. Due to it only being 25 minutes into the game, the death timers are kind of short. Never Clucky securing the first inhibitor of the game.
That's absolutely incredible. They got caught in the jungle, which is what they didn't want to do. Even with all that vision, Strangers were able to get the pick, but then it just completely turned around. The Jinx damage just absolutely ridiculous at this point in the game. 212 CS, 4 kills. The IE and the Phantom Dancer and the Grease coming out. Just crazy items power spike, and Jinx is only going to get stronger at this point. And the nice snipe with the on the Lulu, and then just turns right around to the Olaf target, and they just get multi-kills all across the board. Clean ace from them, and they're able to pick up the inhibitor off of it, and they didn't even have minions at the tower. So Jinx just outputting so much damage right now. She's just basically the story of this game, and even though TF's basically having an impact, Jinx is just the winning these team fights with just the amount of damage she's going to be able to output as the game goes on. So wonderful pickup there. Never Clucky, and they're going to seek to exert more control over this Baron area. Still haven't cleared out that pink, but they'll be able to sweep and basically do whatever they want right now. They just got a huge lead over that, and now they're 13,000 gold ahead over the Strangers, and that's just ridiculous. And Gangplank's able to clear these waves and duel with Olaf. I mean,
and they're going at it again. Right now. A lot of poke between these two top lane titans. However, the sustain from the red buff, from the sustain from the oranges combined with the red buff is gonna give Narv the advantage here, and he's able to force off Datrus yet again. And to talk about what you were saying earlier, having Talisman on Jinx so far ahead, we have to talk about Trace and Goo. He has been so accurate with these Dark Bindings, set up so many situations for his team. You can't give all the credit to the carries.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, in lane and just in
the
lane,
black shield's on, however, Datrus pops the Ragnarok. He wants to go in, he's going to nullify this target. However, he gets instantly deleted from the map. Talisman showing why you play Jinx in this hyper carry position. However, the Cocoon hits, she's in turret range, is getting slowed down, but is able to walk over because Izumo is putting so much zone control down through these wild cards.
My goodness, and Olaf just engaged and then gets totally popped. He did not expect that much damage, and honestly, if Olaf doesn't have enough resistances, he cannot dive into that fight alone, and really no true backup coming out, and that costs them an inhibitor. Just ran way too deep there, and honestly, not a very intelligent engagement
Never Clucky.
there.
Look, sorry for interrupting you, but they're looking to make an around the world attempt right here. Jinx has got the extra crits from Zeke's Harbinger. That's about to be the surrender coming out
That's
of
the
Dynamic
surrender,
Strangers. Never Clucky. Game 1, Week 1, secures victory. And they are looking so solid right now. That's a team y'all are going to need to watch out for in this Minor League Season 2 Championship Series.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful game played from there. They just, the early game looked a little shaky. You weren't able to, they got some nice CS leads though, and then they won some fights, and they just immediately took those towers and just got the clean ace, and they just ran with that. They got